Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Wiegand, Director of the National Cycling Program at Adaptive Adventures, and I just have a little 411 for you on how to use an electronic or not smart trainer. Right now, I've got a bike hooked up to a Ceres H3 smart trainer. It is not using a wheel friction based motor or roller. So it hooks directly, it's a direct drive, so it connects directly to the bike and has its own cassette like you would have on the back of your bike. So I change gears normally and everything. So the first thing we want to do is number one, make sure that our trainer, if you are using a smart trainer, you have it plugged in. So I'm going to plug it in, make sure it's sees an indicator light, which you can't see here, but it is plugged in. The next thing I'm going to do, if I do not have a smart trainer, is I'm going to use a Bluetooth, ideally based device that hooks onto the back wheel of a bike. In this case, this is hooked in right here. And one of the ones that I like to suggest is a Ceres speed cadence sensor, and made by Ceres, the trainer company. And you can use these on low riding trikes, hand cycles, or regular two-wheel bikes. It senses how fast the wheel is spinning. It understands your wheel size. It gives you distance and speed. It also will tell your cadence, how many times your hands or feet move. So you have opportunities to get as much feedback as you are able to get. These are about $35 off of Amazon. Again, you want to make sure it is a Bluetooth. That seems to be the most effective of all of the others. The other option is ANT Plus, and you'll need a dongle in the side of your computer. And the dongle is this little USB port, and it reads the ANT Plus signal. So you'll go ahead and plug it in, make sure it reads, or you want to make sure your Bluetooth sensor is reading. So that said, you have everything powered up. If it's a smart trainer, you have your wheel cadence and speed sensor in place if it's not a smart trainer. And then we'll go ahead and make sure you've got a few things. There's a few things that you want when you are utilizing a smart training garage system or not smart. First of all, you have your setup. I have my computer, everything's set there. I do moderate a lot of calls. I also then have a fan that's blowing on me because you wouldn't believe it. Smart training or indoor training can really beat you up temperature wise. So be aware of that. And of course, have some earphones in so it doesn't echo and that you can really hear the music if I'm playing the DJ sound. And you get to interact with the community utilizing the different web broadcasts on Zoom that we utilize. We then use two smart training apps for those who do have a speed cadence sensor or a smart trainer. And one is called Rouvy, Rouvy. The other is Zwift, Zwift. And both are .coms. And you would download, they have free trials to utilize. And then it will sense all of what you're doing. And then you get to race. You get to do FTP or functional threshold power testing. You can participate in races and events and make it feel more enjoyable than just being in your home or your garage or out in a park spinning endlessly. But this gives you some feedback in information to allow you to really get more feel from what it is you're doing. So that said, I go ahead and I choose to get on my bike. So I'm on my bike and I'm going to start my spin up. My spin up is going to allow me to, number one, warm up, but I also want to make sure if I'm using a smart device of any kind, whether it's the trainer itself or the speed cadence sensor that we spoke about, I'm going to share ahead what that looks like. So that I'm going to utilize a program called Rouvy. And Rouvy is one of my favorite apps. I also use Zwift quite a bit. One's cartoonized and one is
going to be an option to ride real rides. It's mapped. We can insert rides. So if you're in Sarasota, Florida, you can insert your favorite ride. You could use it on the trainer or go ahead and do it live the next day so you can compare your times. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm in Rouvy. I have an account. They have a 2-week trial for everybody. So I'll go to my dashboard, and that dashboard will allow me, once I establish my account, free or paid, I can then go in and choose different options to be able to kind of mock races. So here I'm going to choose a route. So I'm going to explore virtual routes, and I'm going to go and I'm going to search. In this case, I want to think about what it is we are going to be doing for our Puerto Rico ride, which is going to be, you type in by the name, Memorial Day, and I'm then going to click search, and then it is going to give me 2 options: Memorial Day Ride Puerto Rico, or which is a 54.46 mile ride. And Jose Santiago entered this ride based upon his ride that we usually do every year in Puerto Rico. It has 1,597 feet of climbing, and the maximum grade is a 20% grade. If you're using a smart trainer, it will add pressure to your wheel. If you are not using a smart trainer and you are using a speed cadence sensor, it will track your distance, but it will not change the effort. So you must do that if you want to change effort. And then there's the other option, which is the long ride for the 16th, which is 101.2 miles. The average grade is 1% uphill, which is a really short, easy resistance factor if you're using a smart trainer. But you can see as you get more into the ride in the mountains in Puerto Rico, it is that relief. But it has 3,100 feet of climbing in that with a maximum hill grade of 24%, which is a bear of a hill. So I'm going to go ahead for this case. I'm going to click on that route. And then when I click on that route, it shows me the map. This is the map in Puerto Rico. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the island that is Puerto Rico. And it's just to the west of San Juan, Puerto Rico, where we have our base camp for our Caribbean VA programs. And I'm going to go ahead. I can look at the profile. I know exactly what the event is going to do. And then all I have to do is go ahead and choose to ride that route. So that is one way to search and do that route. Once you create the rides, then you can have competitions with yourself or others within that app, and it gives you a good feel. Now, let's say I'm not doing that event and I just want to go to my local area. Some of my favorite rides. So Rouvy gives you some options. I can be a hand cyclist. I have famous uphills if I really want to suffer. I have triathlon events. I have real big mountain climbs in Europe. I have short distance or flat routes. I could be anywhere in the world to check this out. So now I'm going to say to my map, it's going to sense where I am. And then here's where I live, here in the Boulder, Colorado area. And let's say I want to go and experience a ride here, a local ride to me that I ride frequently. And it gives me some options. Oh, I want to do Boulder Creek Canyon or Boulder Creek. I could do all these different types of routes. So then we can go ahead and choose to ride those routes, or I can choose to do other things with that. I have then also an option to click on popular routes. And these are some of the ones from all over the world that they say are the popular routes. So now I can look at that route and I can choose, I I wonder what this ride is like. And then from there, I can go ahead and see that there are places and people who have top times so you can compete against them or see where you stand. Or you just may go and choose to ride it for fun. There's a lot of options here, and it's just we encourage you to go ahead and make sure that is taken care of. So the next thing is how in the world do I sign up for these accounts and for these rides? Because a lot of people are like, Chris, how do I join your Zoom ride? I play some music. I give suggestions on how to give yourself a bad haircut, how to, understand nutrition. We spend a lot of time laughing, or they're coached programs. So then I would say, hey, go on over to adaptiveadventures.org and sign up for the web broadcast, which I'm going to go ahead here and choose adaptiveadventures.org. And from there, I'm going to click over here on the events. And then just because it's tonight, Thursday, it's our Threshold Thursdays happy hour. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of opportunities to engage. And I can click on here and I can say, oh, I'm going to click on here to register. I'm going to then click on that to register online, and you may have your username or not already, or you can decide you want to do that event and another. You just make sure you register, create an online user password, and then we could go ahead and get you signed up for that event. You receive an auto reply that gives you the Zoom room, so it keeps it within our crew only, so we don't get mystery guests running around naked in their garage. We don't condone that. So, but here's the Puerto Rico ride, for instance. It tells you register, then you get the Zoom room info and details. It tells you about the routes on the 16th. You can choose one or the other. It gives you the route profile, what it looks like in Rouvy AR, which is the augmented reality. So it allows you to see video and relief maps while you're riding. But it tells you more about the ride that we're doing in partnership with our great partner, Jose Santiago and Warriors for Life. And we want you out there. We want you on your smart trainer. There are rides with other partners of ours, such as Wounded Warrior Project or Project Hero, or there's, you just name. There's Paralyzed Veterans of America Racing has a daily program. We want you to make sure you have more times in your day to be able to ride. You don't have to ride hard. A lot of it is just about the social. If you're coming into our events for the first time, we want you to be able to just utilize anything we have going on, whether it's yoga or fitness or you name it. We're asking you to stay active, stay engaged, and take care of yourself. So again, if you don't think you can do a 50-mile ride, well, join us for 5. Join us for 5 minutes. The first thing is you taking care of you and being part of a community. So I'm going to grab a few things. I've got my fan going. I've got my water bottle so I stay hydrated. And I've got my earphones on. I'm in my smart app. It's been paired. I'm going to just get on. And the next thing I need is a little music. So I'm just going to turn it up and tune in.